Okay, so welcome everyone to Women in Design and Construction. I don't even know what event number we're up to now, maybe 12 or something like that. So hands up if you're new. Every time we get heaps of newbies, which is really exciting. So for those of you who've been before, keep an eye out for the red dots and go and introduce yourself. We'd love you to kind of make all of our new members welcome. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Althea Pappenzak. Took that surname on when I got married. It's horrific, I know. And I founded Women in Design and Construction in December 2016. And my partner Erin came on board with Women in Design and Construction not long thereafter. And we have all of our fantastic committee members here tonight as well. So we've got Caitlin, Yolanda, Michaela, Kira, and unfortunately Lisa couldn't make it tonight. But welcome everyone, and I hope you really enjoy. So quick little update on what's on the agenda for this evening. So we're going to just do a bit of an update on what's happening and what events we've got coming up. And then we've got our event sponsor for the night, Stylecraft. So Natalie from Stylecraft is going to get up and just do a bit of an introduction. We're very, very lucky to be in their fantastic showroom tonight, having a look at all this beautiful furniture, eating all their lovely wine and eating all the food. So Natalie's going to get up and talk to us a little bit and introduce the company. Then we're going to get straight on to the panel discussion, which I think is why everyone's here tonight. It's a very interesting topic. It's a topic that not many people like talking about openly because it can be something that can be a little taboo or a little hairy, I suppose. So I thought, stuff it, I'm the most openly, well, actually too open person that everyone knows, so I'm going to be the person to put it out there because I want to talk about it. Then we're going to announce our logo competition winner, very exciting, and unveil our new logo. And then we've got some lucky door prizes, and then I hope everyone can stick around after that for the discussion tables, which tonight we've actually got like an activity that I need everyone to kind of participate in because we're going to build this giant ideas wall, which is going to tie back to what we're talking about tonight. So I hope everyone really enjoys that. Okay. Bear with me on the noise coming from the speaker. Not sure what it's about. Okay, so for those of you who haven't been to a WIDAC event before, I guess they all started because I went to a lot of networking events when I changed jobs and found that they were all either not relevant, really expensive, really awkward, because I wasn't very good at networking when I started. I'd just walk into a networking event and be like, and I hated it, and I thought there's got to be a better way to go and do this, so that's how these events have come about. And we've kind of shaped them around what everyone wants to get out of networking, which is hopefully just to make some really good connections. Some knowledge sharing, so for those of you who have seen, we're doing workshops now, so there's a wealth of amazing information in this room. So we've had some of our engineers get up and do a mechanical masterclass, and then we're obviously going to do all the other disciplines as well, so hydraulics, fire, electrical. We've got a healthy homes building workshop coming up next week, and we've got some interior design workshops, and we're trying to put them on at either free or the max you're going to pay is $10 because I think it's really important to share all the knowledge that we've got in this room. Support and friendship. So for those of you who've taken the big leap and you've gone out and started your own business, it can be a little lonely out there, so I hope that you can use this networking group as a way to reconnect with everyone in your industry. Mentoring. So I always say that we do mentoring programs, and we have done, and I've paired up quite a few mentors and mentees, but I'm very busy and a little bit slack, so I've now decided to formally appoint one of our committee members the job of managing our mentoring program. We've got these fantastic templates where basically you fill out a little bit about yourself, say I'm looking for a mentor, I'm happy to mentor someone, send them to us, and we're going to try and match you with someone within the group. So if you're interested in talking to someone about being a mentor or getting a mentor, which is really valuable, like I'm my own mentor that I had done from last year, and it's been amazing. I learned a lot of stuff from my mentor, Sophie, who I didn't actually go to her to learn about that sort of stuff, but the stuff that I've taken away has been even more valuable. So the committee members who are going to be taking care of that, so you can see their happy faces, Yolanda. Excellent. So anyone wants to know about mentoring, go and see Yolanda. And I don't think Claire's here. Lauren. Sorry. And recognition. So we're not doing it tonight because we've got a lot on tonight, but usually we're going to do project spotlight. So we did one last time. You can get up, share a project. Really good way to get in front of 120 people and overcome your fear of public speaking. So if anyone's keen to do that, let me know. It's really good. Okay, so I'm going to introduce Natalie, wherever she is, so she can say a few words about Stylecraft. Thanks.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us here at Stylecraft for the WIDAC event. My name's Natalie Rubin, and I'm an associate here at Stylecraft. For those of you who don't know much about our brand, here is a little overview. Stylecraft started in 1953 in Melbourne. I've been with the company since 2006, and since that time we've opened showrooms in Canberra, Adelaide, Perth and Singapore to complement our Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne spaces. Stylecraft currently employs 85 talented people nationwide and supports them with a culture that is second to none. We represent international brands from Italy, Spain, the Netherlands, Japan and Croatia, as well as being committed to supporting Australian design and manufacture, along with well-known designers such as Alexander Lottestein, Ross Gardner and Helen Contouris, who support upcoming designers such as Seton McKean and Elliot Rich through our after program. Stylecraft was the first Australian commercial furniture company to become carbon neutral, and now we offer over 500 environmentally certified products. We take our position in the design community seriously by supporting the DIA with a silver partnership, as well as sponsoring major university graduate exhibitions. As well, in 2015 we partnered with the Jam Factory to launch the Australian Furniture Design Award, a biannual award with a $20,000 prize money, and the winner's prototype is acquisitioned by the Art Gallery of South Australia. What's next? In 2017 we launched our residential brand Stylecraft Home in Sydney, and Melbourne will follow later this year. Thanks for joining us in the showroom, and I hope you enjoy the panel discussion this evening.
Okay, so without further ado, let's get into this tonight. I'll introduce our panel members, and then they can tell you a little bit about themselves. It's very Oprah-esque this evening. Good. See, we're all here for lots of different reasons. So tonight's discussion, we've tried to aim it so that, I guess, depending on no matter what kind of where you find yourself and how you're feeling about starting family, there's going to be something that kind of, I guess, resonates with you. So I might ask the panel members to quickly introduce themselves. So just name, company, what you do, how many babies you've got, and then what else? Favourite? No, most annoying children's song that's stuck in your head.
Hi everyone, my name's Jessie O'Shea. I'm a project architect at Edinburgh Fraser. Hi. Hi, I'm Jessie. Does that work? And I work for Edinburgh Fraser. I'm a project architect there. I have one baby. Her name's Pippa and she's 2. And most annoying child song. She is obsessed with Wake Up Jeff, but she sings Wake Up Jessie because it's hilarious.
Hi, I'm Sarah Lighttown Ward. I work for United Care Queensland as an accountant works for a manager. I have 2 children, a 2.5-year-old son Leonard and a 7-week-old daughter Ailid.
What else is it? My favourite song? The worst song is probably the Peppa Pig Mr. Potato. It is very annoying.
Hi, I'm Kira Legret. I'm a client-side project manager. I work for TSA Management. I have one little boy called Ben who is just about to turn 3. And the most annoying song in my life at the moment is Baby Shark, dance music one. Yeah, just no.
You're just going to have to yell, let's try again.
Hi everybody, I'm Eve's mum or Will's mum really, and that's what I get introduced as a lot, that's what I get known as, but in this environment I'm normally known as Jill May. I work for a company called IQ Construct. We're a construction company. I've got a background as a civil engineer, but more importantly in this forum, I have two great kids. Eve's 10, she's in year 5. I took 10 months paternity leave with her and went back to work 4 days a week after having her, and I've only just returned back to full-time work after 9 years of working. And I've got a little boy called William who's 8 years old, so yeah, thanks for coming tonight. Thanks for all that.
It makes you feel more. Hi everyone, my name is Katarina. I work for NWY. I'm a hydraulics engineer, and I've got 2 daughters. One is 4 and the other is 2. And I've returned to work after 10 months of having my first one, 4 days as well. And after having my second one, I decided to return 3 days instead of 4. And now I've been lucky enough to be able to return the 4 days, one being from home. So that is support from my company. And music's going to be Portuguese. Okay, cool, awesome. So we've got a bit of an interesting cross section, and everyone's back at work now. Yes. No, you're on maternity leave still. Still a little one, very little. Yes, brand new, fresh. Yeah, fresh. The other ones I refuse to hold. Sorry. Cool. All right. Well, let's kick it off. And I'm going to ask a few different questions. If you're really like itching to answer a question, let me know and be like, I also want to answer this, because it's really nonsense. So let's kick it off. All right, Katarina, how did you have the conversation regarding maternity leave with your employer, and was it their positive experience?
Yeah, well, it was, as I said before, like I think NWY really supports new moms, and I've been lucky enough that my manager was very supportive. The talk with him was simply, I'm going to take 10 months leave, and it was okay. And even when I decided to stay a little bit longer, he was very supportive and helpful, and we've got certain policies in place at NWY where we're supposed to take 12 months leave maximum. Then we can ask for a 24-month period, but that needs to be escalated. But I ended up with my second one, ended up taking 13 months leave, and it was just fine. So I think I was really lucky to have such a supportive manager.
Anyone else keen on sharing?
I'll share something. I was in the Air Force for 16 years, so it was supported by a system that supported me. So that was fabulous. I did have my boss, when I told him I was going to go on maternity leave, tell me it was a manager's worst nightmare. So, but he had no choice because the system supported him. And I kind of think about if his wife had been told that, I don't think he would have been very happy about that. But yeah, even in a system where I was well supported. But from that perspective, I've reached out the last week and a half to talk to people because I don't necessarily come from a construction background myself, because I'm more so the consultant side. I've wanted to represent the construction side. And it's been interesting talking to a few people. I met a lovely lady from Lego Rock the other day, and she was talking about how we don't have the confidence to have the discussion. And she really encouraged us to have the confidence to have a discussion, because people are assuming it's going to go negatively without even having a discussion. And so this was one point I really wanted to make tonight, was make sure that you have a discussion. Don't make assumptions for how that discussion will go and how it will have the discussion, even if it is going to be a negative experience. It's important to have that discussion. So.
Yeah, I'll second that actually. My boss took 2 of us on. My boss took 2 of us on, both in our 30s, both with a child each. And obviously at a point in our lives where a second child might not turn up. My colleague went on, she found out she was pregnant 6 months into the job, and then obviously I got pregnant just before a year. We were both terrified and quite emotional telling our boss. We both said sorry profusely. He turned around and said, don't worry, I'm not naive. two girls in their 30s with children. I knew this day would come. And he was great. He turned around and said, I took you on, not because you're girls, not because you have children, not because you want that, because you're right for the job. So we were terrified of telling him because we thought, oh, it's too soon. It turned out to be really good. Yeah. So I said to him, don't be scared. It might not turn out right, but people aren't as naive as you think they are. They're not as horrible as you think they are. Most of them have got families and they know, and their wives have gone through this.
We did a poll on Facebook in the lead up to this event, and I asked you how many of you would feel comfortable talking to your employers about, the thought of starting a family. And not surprisingly, but really, I guess it was quite sad to see that 70% of you said you wouldn't feel comfortable talking to your employer about your intention to start a family. And that was really interesting because I guess the reason this event came about was because in October last year I decided that I wanted to start a family, my husband and I. And a couple of months ago I went to my general manager and I said, look, I think you should know, I'm trying for a family now and I'd like to see how that's going to work and find out if I can come back to my same position now, part-time and things like that. And that conversation for me, luckily, went really well. But then I've had a lot of feedback from a lot of girls who said they would never tell their employers their intention to start a family because it's a really personal thing. And I have broadcasted the fact that I'm trying for a family. And I guess there's probably even a little bit more pressure on myself now that everyone knows. You're like, oh, still not pregnant out here. But I guess for some women, you don't want to tell your employer because you're worried that you're then kind of putting yourself out there. And then they know that that's what you're trying to do. Or you think that that might end up making you someone who will be offered less opportunities in the company. Because they're looking at you going, well, you're going to leave. So it's really interesting to have seen that statistic. But tonight we're going to talk about ways that we think we can kind of, start to break down those barriers and make it a little better. Because for me, I thought if that conversation went really badly, I would start looking for another job before I got knocked up. That was kind of my thought process. So that was kind of my thought pattern, but then other people have thought that that was crazy, which, fair play, probably was a bit crazy as well. Alright, so we'll kick on. What were the main challenges for you returning to work post-baby?
See, when I went on maternity leave, I had it in my head for some strange reason that I would have 6 months off, and that's what we're going to do every month. And I reached 6 months and I suddenly realised that I wasn't ready to give my child to someone else to look after. So I was ready for work, I wasn't ready for childcare. So that was probably my biggest battle. I came into the office and I had a meeting with our ops manager and our director, who thankfully were both mothers, so that was lovely. And they're like, yeah, absolutely, no problem. Why don't we start giving you work that you can take home? So I did I remoted in, I did some more just adding work with families and things like that. So that was good. And then it was not until I reached about 10, 11 months, I was actually ready to hand my baby over to the child. It's quite daunting. Like, I didn't think that that would be the challenge. I thought it would be, stepping into the workforce. But, yeah.
I can definitely concur with that. It was a similar situation to me. I had the same thing. Yeah, no worries, I'll take 6 months off. At the time I was living in Sydney and that was just impossible from a perspective of there were no childcare spots. So I had my name down on like 12 lists by the time I was 6 weeks pregnant. I hadn't even told hardly any of my family, and yet 12 daycare centres across Sydney knew I was pregnant. And so I wasn't offered a place, and it sort of worked out, I suppose, in a way, because I wasn't ready at that 6 months time frame, and then 10 months came along and I still didn't feel ready. And I was lucky enough to have a really supportive husband who decided, well, hell, let's just move to Queensland, because to my family, I'll take a year off if you're not comfortable putting him in daycare, and we'll go from there. And to be honest, I found that actually harder than now that my son is in daycare, because it was difficult for me to, I thought it would be good for him to text me photos of what they were doing and hear about how their day was, but it was heartbreaking because it wasn't me. And I was happy that he was with his dad, but I was devastated that it wasn't, that I had given him over to somebody else. And it didn't help at the time that I was in a new job that didn't end up working out, and it wasn't a very supportive environment, so everything was a mess. But that, coupled with the mental load of just trying to focus on work when that's going on, was just really different than I ever thought it would be.
Interesting. what surprised you the most about maternity leave or the returning to work?
What surprised me the most? What surprised me the most about maternity leave was that I didn't actually enjoy it. That sounds bizarre for me. Not that I didn't love my son or want to spend time with my son, and I'm actually better this time, but I was adamant I wasn't going to speak the mommy talk, actually talk to people. I was going to just get on and do it myself. I should have spoke to people because my brain died, so when I actually went back to work, I felt guilty as hell. I felt stupid, absolutely stupid. I couldn't string a sentence together, I couldn't remember everything I'd ever done. And so I didn't really enjoy it. But this time round, I'm only 2 months in, but I've already got a support group of other mothers, and yes, we talk baby, but we also talk shop. And that's so much better. And so I hope that actually when I go back this time, I will feel a lot better. My brain will be stimulated because it's amazing just how many brain cells do feel like they're dying off.
You just don't know. You're in this consumed world of babyism, so that's all you know to talk at. I'd go to a function and then hope that I was sitting next to another parent, because if I sat next to anybody that wasn't a parent, I wouldn't have known what to talk about. Because all I knew was babies, and so you just get consumed in this world. So that's really clever about setting up a network around babies as well as
Okay. Jill, how did you handle childcare as part of your return to work arrangements?
I did the same as Kira. I didn't know that I had to put my name down early, and had my name at 25 different centres, and got into one. So I don't know what it's like here in Brisbane. This was in Canberra, but it was very time spent in childcare. So the kids went back in 3 days a week, and I worked from home 1 day a week. I must admit, I thought I was going to be a super mum on those days, because I thought I was going to get all the work done. I thought I was going to spend some time with my kids, quality time, and I thought I'd get 3 loads of washing done. I got no washing. I got work done, and my kids were rather neglected. So they were sometimes some of my more challenging days. I probably wouldn't do it any differently. I think I would have stayed at home on those 1 days with my kids, but I think I would have structured my day differently, and probably had more structure around this is my work time, this is an hour with my child, this is back into work time. So it was different.
Sure. While we do that,
Can I ask a question about that? How old were your children when you were working from home? Because I know if I did an hour for 2-year-old, I would probably get anything to me.
They were quite little. They were 2 and 4. So it was challenging. And that's why I thought I'd get heaps done, but I really didn't. Because I got the work done, which is what I had to do. But I didn't really look at the kids they were better off with me potentially, but I wasn't.
let's give it a go again. I could ask a question. Okay, great. What was the next question that I thought was really interesting? How was the experience with your fellow employees or your colleagues on your return to work? Did you feel, if any, there might have been an unconscious bias from some colleagues that perhaps you might not have been as dedicated or as driven as you were before you left to have a baby? Who wants to answer that one? I know, hairy, super hairy.
So the main challenge with that has to do with the hours that you spend in the office, and that stigma that you need to be in the office so that people think that you're working. But fortunately, I've been lucky enough to be able to leave at 4 or 4:30, and I have the opportunity to then pick up my girls, go home, take care of them, and then just work from home when need be. So we have this portability in the company where I can access everything. And I think most people were very supportive.
from my team, everyone knew that, okay, I would leave at 4 and no one would question that. Obviously, there were some times when things had to be issued and like these deadlines that are always on Fridays, and I don't work on Fridays. So, but the majority of the people were very, very supportive and understanding, really. So,
yeah. Sorry. My children are 10 and 8, I think I've reflected on this a lot. But one thing that I learned is to change my language. When I first went on part-time leave, I would say on Thursdays, you know, I won't be in tomorrow, I'll see you on Mondays. And I would have some people go, oh, it's all right for some. You know, I wasn't getting paid to be there on the Friday. So, you know, ultimately, if I needed to, I would take a phone call or get some work done if I needed to. So I think it's kind of important to have that flexibility. However, in my last job, I learnt to use different language. And I would say, I'm not getting paid to be here tomorrow, so I'm not going to be here. And people would go, oh, I wouldn't be here either, you know. And I would leave at 2:30 to pick my kids up 2 days a week in my last job. And I would walk past people in the corridor and you could see them looking at me as if, why are you leaving, you know, at this time? And I would go, see you, Steve. You know, I haven't been paid for the last 10 minutes. I'm not getting paid for the rest of the afternoon, so I'm off to pick the kids up. And he'd go, yeah, no worries. So that was quite empowering to learn to change my language to reflect, because people forget that you don't get paid for this time. They just think that you're skiving off and you're not. So yeah, that's one tip that.
And when I was interviewing with my employer, my brand new employer at the time, I put it all out on the table, just saying, look, I've got a small baby at home, it's really difficult for me. I'm going to want to leave the office at, you know, he's in bed at 6:30 and he wakes up at 7. So there were a lot of days where I would leave the house before he was awake, and I would get home and he'd be asleep, and that is really difficult. So I put it all on the table and I was like, look, I want to leave the office at 4 o'clock, go home, and between the hours of 4 and say 7, it's family time, and then I'm back online. And in theory, at face value, everyone was like, yes, very supportive, very supportive. And then I found out behind my back that was not actually what they were feeling.
Jess, were you able to return to your former full-time position as a now part-time employee, and what needed to change?
It was quite interesting. When I first went back, my role was a little bit undefined, and surprisingly, my boss at the time, I pulled it aside and we had a chat. We have an organisational chart in our office, and my name had slipped down a rung. And I came back and I was like, hang on a minute. And she went, oh, I just assumed that you wouldn't want to be in that position straight away. So she came across thinking that she was being highly supportive, and at the same time, I'm a little bit competitive. So I was like, I'd like my name back where it was, please. So we had that discussion, and she was like, yep, great, we'll build a team around you to support what you need to do. So short answer, yes, I am back in my same role, which is great, and I've got a great team that supports me. Yeah, we still managed to get all the work done, which is good.
Good, good. Anyone else?
No. Okay, right, well, that's a question for you. If anyone at any point has a question that they want to ask, feel free to kind of wave at Erin and she'll prod me and we can answer it. But we can also do lots of questions at the end as well. Because I'm sure. This is a really tricky one. So, how can we tackle the stigma around return to work mothers receiving special treatment and additional flexibility?
Ooh, I'll answer this one. In my mind, I don't think the stigma is for the mums, I think it's the dads. So my husband and I'm very all about equity and equality and what have you, and my husband and I actually do a partnership arrangement. So I think if anything, if I leave to pick up my child, a lot of people are like, oh, she's a mum, that's fine, yeah, cool. Whereas when sometimes he leaves, I obviously don't work with him, so I'm not sure that, I'm assuming they're very supportive, but I know we have a male in our office and he leaves for his daughter, and I think a lot of it takes people a little bit like, oh, hang on, he's a dad as well. So I think it goes both ways. So I think if we help the situation for the dads and the mothers, that stigma should just be null and void.
Yeah, and actually, I've got the same issue. My husband and I are the only ones in our whole families that are in Australia. You haven't guessed, I'm from the UK. And so when we both went back to work, he's a teacher, and we have our son who's, sorry, shout out you really loud now. When our son is poorly, or our little girl is poorly now, there was no one else but one or the other one of us. So generally my work was really flexible with letting me take time off, but eventually enough's enough, and I started feeling bad. So I said to my husband, please take the day off to look after him, he's not very well. His boss turned around and says, look, if your wife must work, I suggest you get an au pair. He's an old school head teacher, but I was ready to deck him. So I agree, we need to support our husbands in this role. People assume dads work and the mums take the time off to look after their kids. Dads also do that, to give the mums a rest, and they want to look after their kids when they're ill. Bosses don't always appreciate that, I don't think, so we really do need to start supporting mums and dads in this.
Yeah, so with my experience, unfortunately, my husband has asked for flexible working arrangements, and he's been denied several times. So that's what I think, he's been denied the 1 day per week to spend with his daughters while they're still young, simply because he's a dad, I think. So there's definitely some companies out there that are still not giving fathers the right opportunities. And with us, the same with you, we don't have family around. I've got a sister, but no granddads or no grandmothers that can help with the pickups and helping 1 day per week. And childcare is extremely expensive. So we really have to find a balance, and that's something that we really need to work on. So.
We got a question.
It's a personal question, so I don't really have to answer it. But for those of you with 2 kids, has anyone thought of 3, or is 3 just tipping over the deep end?
No way.
Why not? I'd like to know why. Full disclosure, I'm pregnant with number 4, so I'm crazy. I'd like to know, because most working mothers I know stop at 2.
Good question. I have a little bit of a blended. I go from 2 to 5 in any fortnight and back to 2 with me and my partner. And so it turns into a little crazy land when there's 5, but they're all good kids, and I never thought I would have more than 2. But yeah, it's certainly fun and exciting with more kids, but each to their own, I suppose. Yeah, two is 2 hands, and maybe that's where people stop.
I'm one of 6, and my mum was a single working mum. So I would consider a 3rd sometimes. My midwife asked me when I just had my 2nd, would I? And I said no, it's a bit too soon. But actually, to be honest, each day I think differently. Right now I say no, it would be too much. Childcare costs for one is extortionate. But then there's also, if they're poorly, who looks after him? What do you do? It is you kind of try and get your head around organising it. I think that's what it'd have to be. I'm a project manager, so I should be able to organise 3 kids, hopefully. But yeah, I think it's a daily do I or don't I, and right now I don't actually know if I would have a 3rd. I don't think my husband would let me, for one. But.
Okay, Jessie, what would you do differently if you had your time over again?
I did see that question came through, and I actually didn't have an answer. I was actually quite happy with how it all worked out. So touching on what you said earlier about creating a support network around yourself, I made sure that I did that quite early. I joined a mother's group, so I kept my brain active. I pretty much worked all through my maternity leave doing private jobs for family. So when my husband went back to work after 2 weeks, I mentally went back to work as well. So I designed some houses and things like that to keep busy. So that was good for me because I like to keep busy. And I was very fortunate that my return to work was quite smooth. So I don't really have an answer, sorry.
I think because when I went back to work and the whole arrangement sort of didn't work out, I have a lot of sort of guilt over that. And I think it's because I'm a project manager and I'm pretty ambitious, and I think of it as my biggest failed project because that employer didn't work out and it was all a big disaster. So I think if I were to do it over again, I would probably try to go back to work a little bit earlier than when my son was 10 months, because that was part of the problem as well. There was a lot of separation anxiety that went on there for both of us. And I would try and go back less time. So I went smack bang, full time, 5 days a week, and that was a big mistake. And I would try and maybe go back less time and just relax about it. Because at the end of the day, they're only little for so long. And before you know it, they'll be in school, and before you know it, they'll be grown. So, and then you're back at work full time anyway. So I guess just relax about it is what I would do a bit better.
Just a little quick one. I never considered staying at home with the kids because I was in the Air Force and I was in this big machine that supported you so well. None of my friends stayed at home. I didn't stay at home. It wasn't until I had my second child and came up to Brisbane and socialised with some different people that I went, I could have stayed at home. I don't think I would have, but I think I would have considered the option because we having this discussion is great, but we also sometimes devalue the carer role as well. So I just would have probably really understood my options better and not just made assumptions because the women around me were doing the same thing.
Okay, we're going to do something. Oh, yes, another question. No. Yellow.
My question is about finances, and if you had your time again, would you consider like replanning some finance or some, little stash money, or do you think the money situation turned out okay, or maybe just some advice in kind of financially, like how do you actually balance thinking that you're not going to have one income coming in if obviously you've got to work at the time now?
I'm quite anal on finances, and I'm a stickler for a budget. So when we were planning our first, you laugh, but I'm a spreadsheet, you know what I tell you. When we were planning our first baby, as soon as we found out we were pregnant, we started saving because I knew one wage might not cover everything. So the spreadsheet came out and we identified what we had in, what we had out, and I was a bit crazy on it, to be honest, but it actually worked. I felt comfortable, happy. I knew what we couldn't afford, and this time around we've done exactly the same thing. We have allowed for a trip back to the UK, still doing everything that we want, just scale back a little bit, but I feel so much happier. I don't need to worry about what I'm spending at the shop. I don't have to worry about asking for pocket money, because that's the one thing, is you earn your own money, and then you're on maternity, you've got no money coming in. It's like you go to your husband, can I have some money please? It's awful. So he puts them in, so I feel like I'm getting paid, and I don't have to worry about asking for any money. So I'd just say plan. Yeah, for me, it worked really well.
Sorry, I'm talking a lot. For me, I was very extremely lucky to work at a university when I had my first child, and I got 26 weeks full paid maternity leave, which was absolutely amazing. But we knew towards the end of that it ran out, and we knew towards the end of that. Oh, and I was also a dirty double dipper, by the way, as well. I took the government as well. So what we did, we knew that we knew coming up to planning that my husband was going to take that year off, that we were going to go down. So we started putting one of our wages away into a separate bank account straight off that bat. And this time around, neither of us will get anything other than, the minimum wage. So thinking about the future, having number two, we've already started saving and already started thinking through that. And I think it's really important because, I agree, it's one less thing that you need to stress about.
Okay, we're going to quickly... Oh, we've got another question. Okay, can you hold your question? And we've got so much left to go, but I'm really interested to ask this one question in the audience, because that's going to feed into a few more questions we're going to do in a minute. Can everyone get their phones out? So it's your favourite time of the night, the live poll. Okay, so if everyone can text WIDAC to 0427 541 357. And then you should get a text message saying, welcome, you've joined WIDAC, or something like that. And then you're in. Oh, sorry. 0427 541 357. Is everyone in? Yep. Okay, so want everyone to text in, and ideally one word. What concerns do you have regarding your career that are holding you back from starting a family? So text in your responses. Oh, good luck. Is everyone really shy? Oh no, there they go. Okay, good. Progression. Yeah. Finance. Losing. I wonder what the other word was that. Social. Social is the big one for me. I'm like, oh my god, my life. Unemployment. Yeah, that's interesting. Career. Kids. Finances. Perception. Perception's a big one as well. Leadership. Guilt. Guilt is a big one. But money and progression, definitely. Someone said alcohol. I agree. Terrified. Oh, that's all right. Okay, really, really interesting. So progression's the big one. And I guess if you think about it, when you go and have a baby, if you took a year out, there's a year less of promotions that you're going to get because you're not there. Or you might get them if you've got a really good employer and you've kind of had that chat and said, this is what I'm working towards, my time off is not going to make a difference ideally, but I think that's the big one that holds a lot of people back, is that fear that you worked so hard. Like when I think about how long I have absolutely flogged it out, full-time, climbing the ladder, and then to go, okay, I want to go away and have kids, and then think, if I did take a year off, I'll come back and everyone would have been promoted around me, and I'll be there, lacking behind. So that's a really big one for a lot of people. Money is another big one. It is, hands up who knows if they have, hands up if your company has paid maternity leave. Okay, so we have about 4, 5, maybe a few. Hands up if you don't really know what your company provides because you're too afraid to ask. Anyone? There's a few, yeah. Not yet, I know. And that's the thing, like, so when I went for my interview at my current role, I was 30 and married, recently married, and I thought, oh, I wonder if they have maternity leave. And I went, don't you ask, that's silly. And then I found out when I got my contract that I had maternity leave in there, and I was like, oh my god, bonus. But it's really interesting because you kind of think, wouldn't it be great to find out all the employers who have maternity leave so that you could, I guess, decide once you knew a bit about that company, if they had the right role, that might kind of, I guess, be an opportunity for you that you want to pursue. You want to go and work for them knowing that you've got that. 26 weeks, where was that? That's, yeah. That's a bloody good one. Yes.
So, I don't know if you're aware, but there is actually a website that I can give you. It's dccorg.com that has, it's basically a website with jobs it's not only for women, but for employers that provide paid parental leave, flexible working arrangements, and all of the good stuff. So, and they only advertise those jobs, so it's really good. I found out that Microsoft pays 20 weeks of maternity leave and 6 weeks of paternity leave. So, see, like,
and it makes a big difference. Like for Kira, she felt like she financially was very secure going on maternity leave. Like 26 weeks is amazing. That's fantastic. Okay, cool. We've got one more poll. So So what did everyone think about that one? I think we're going to send that around because it's really interesting to capture that data. What do you think the biggest barriers are that women face returning to work post-baby? Hearing a little bit about what you've heard tonight. Opinions, we've got discrimination, productivity, guilt, stigma, missing baby, really quiet topic that people whisper around the hallways because they don't want to talk about it openly because of, I guess, judgment and perception and how people would perceive them if they thought, oh, she's, going to start a family, we're not going to put her on that 3-year project because she'll only be here, 9 months and then she'll be off. So really, really interesting to hear about that.